Good morning, Daaji.
Good morning.
My name is Sachin Dhariwal. When things happen, good or bad, you like it or not, for or against, our Jain Guru says, ये तो आपकी पुनवानी है. When we talk to Vedic astrologers, they give guidance based on your birth chart, your nature, your overall, how you're going to go about in life. This 2021 has my understanding about conscious mind, subconscious mind, and beyond this has been a revelation that there is something beyond what you can experience and go through about it. So my question is, does heartfulness practice, as it raises the consciousness level, this part of your Punwani thing or the astrological aspect of your guidance become irrelevant and then you are on your own, or they still play some kind of role in your life, in your journey?
Thank you.
Thank you.
This observation is very critical for our understanding and dissecting our lifestyle. See. Whenever we came, especially NRIs, they have this fancy that child should be conceived in India. This just because the souls in the other part of the world, they think that devilish or dark side exists in them, which is questionable things. So once I asked our Guruji, what is important? The place of conception, or birth of conception, or time of conception? He said, none of this. Astrologically speaking, time and birthplace, they do play a part, no doubt. But that is when the child has taken the birth. But that is much more crucial that the Atman, with a particular samskars, baggage of samskars, package of samskars, has already taken a birth in mother's womb. It has already descended with a package of its own destiny. This destiny is nothing but previous karmas, aggregate of karmas. So, place of birth and time of birth, though they play a significant role, but the major thing is this package, how it unfolds in day-to-day life. Now, he says the most important thing is the attitude of parents at the moment of conception. If they are mating with so much of passion, losing themselves like animals, then the soul which are attracted towards such a womb will match that frequency, the vibrations of parents at that moment of intimacy. But if this couple is prayerful, reverential, and with conscious mind trying to attract a soul, that soul will have a different caliber. Its destiny will also unfold differently. So, we say moon has its impact on our system. Full moon has lunatic effect, right? Good or creative work becomes very profound at that time. At the same time, most crime also occurs on full moon night. People go crazy. Some people become too ecstatic in a nice way. Some people go crazy in becoming violent. So it magnifies everything on full moon night. So we cannot deny the planetary effect. Physically speaking, the gravitational pull which occurred on the end of 2000 or 2001 when Gujarat had that earthquake in Kutch Bhuj. On that day, it was predicted in Gujarati Panchang that on this particular day there will be a massive earthquake. And that was predicted based on these few planets like Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and also the Moon. They were in linear position, directly on one side. So there was a greater pull on the Earth's crust, and they were perpendicular to this area of Bhuj, pulling Earth crust, shaking the Earth and created earthquake. Similarly, it has a physiological impact on our blood pressure, on our other neuronal hormones that excites our moods or depresses moods. So some people tend to change all their moods based on these cycles. So to some extent it is okay. But if that package, as we call samskars, it's such that it remains invincible, unaffected by all these external things. You see? So the attitude of parents is much more important than place of birth or the planetary position at that time. I share with you one story from Mahabharata. Satyavati. She was worried that the throne will remain empty. So she requested these queens to undergo what we call sperm donation by third party. Today's world we call, from the sperm bank, we borrow you want atlas sperms or you want scientist sperms or, intellectually we invite such individuals, select the father. So likewise, she also selected sage Vyasa. And it was done in such a way that particular muhurtam is taken advantage of for the inception. When the Vyasa was summoned, he had to follow the orders. He goes to the first queen's chamber. She's aghast looking at his dress and attire because he came straight from the forest. They mated. But during the mating, she felt so disgusted. She closed her eyes, but not with this guy. Okay. Next queen, another muhurtam. She felt pale. Her blood circulation stopped almost. So now in both cases what happens? Third case was Dasi. These two queens were very smart that in order to avoid this exercise again, let's request this maid to undergo the same thing so that if perchance she conceives, we will keep this guy as a prince on the throne. Now here in this case of maid, she felt honored. She felt, how lucky am I, see, that I'm fortunate to mate with the greatest sage on the planet. So her attitude changed the incoming soul's character. She invited Vidur. The first queen invited Dhritarashtra, soul. And the second queen invited Pandu's soul. He was leucodermic. So the attitude at the moment of conception determines the quality of incoming soul. So youngsters, be careful. But this moment of intimacy is so overpowering that most people, they lose their normal sense. They become too restless. So one has to remain poised. And this poise, you cannot fabricate at the last minute. It has to become your nature. So the calmness, poise, peacefulness, confidence, courage, all should be inculcated from the very beginning. We don't teach the lessons of romance, but we teach the positive lessons of how to remain poised. So one day, when such moments do arise, you are poised no matter what. So to answer your question, what is most important is attitude. Attitude actually drives our entire life. Be it meditation, even in meditation, suppose there must be some children here. Some of them meditate because my father says, "Bete, thoda dhyan kar le, अच्छा होगा." माँ चिल्लाती है, मैं ध्यान नहीं करता हूँ तो वो रोती है. Emotional blackmailing. So just to satisfy parents, they close their eyes and sit. But they are not inviting transmission. I used to also feel sometimes when a preceptor goes over a period, more than let us say 45 minutes or more than 1 hour, the sitting drags on, like see, and you pray, Babuji, please end the sitting. So at that time I used to think, I used to feel, वैसे भी बैठना है, might as well sit joyfully. Would you jump out of the plane when it is in turbulence? You'll make it worse. So there are meditations where you feel internally turbulence also. Oh, abhi ye kab khatam hota hai, and I get up and go. But why are you rushing? Be at peace. Invite the transmission lovingly. See? When something is forced unto you, you tend to end it fast. And when you joyfully invite it, it speaks for itself. When you eat joyfully versus father smacks your head and says, you better eat this, there's a big difference. So attitude plays a big role. See, even in studies, you are interested in study, that makes a difference. You are forced to study, that's another matter. When you are working for someone or someone is working for you, their attitude also makes a big difference. Your commitment to your boss, your loyalty to your boss, they speak volumes. And same thing, the attitudes of the boss to the employees. They also speak a volume. It creates a kind of culture in an organization. See? So attitude drives our life, not these planetary positions. Thank you. Thank you. I think enough, and all the best to this new